Rush here, West Coast Classic Cougar, and I have a beautiful, well-optioned 1969 convertible I'm putting on the market. This car has belonged to the same owner for going on 50 years, and he's been a customer of mine for over 30. And I've always, every time he shows up at my shop in this car, I come out to admire it. And, you know, I put a bug in his ear 20 years ago. If you ever want to sell this, look at this dash pad, so soft. And, you know, George is he doesn't like change. Same house for 50 years, same career, same wife, same everything. I knew he didn't want to sell it. But he's 85 years old. He's in really good shape, sharp as a tack. But he's now the full-time caregiver of his wife, who has a severe neurological disease. And he calls me up and says, "You're the only one I want to sell this car to." And I think he wanted like $46,000. And he says, I know you need to, you know, buy it right and maybe make a little money on it, so I'm going to offer it to you for that. Of course, I didn't laugh at him. But he's one of these guys that I know what I got. Very intelligent man, been an accountant all his life, and done a lot of his own maintenance. And some years ago, he decided to make it nice. Spent a lot of money on a top quality paint job here locally at Gary's Mustang, and found the top engine builder in his area, who I know well, and took the tranny somewhere else. Anyway, spent a lot of money. Really, he didn't do a restoration. He just freshened it up at 100,000 miles, almost 100,000 miles at the time. And so he, rebuilt the motor, the transmission, paint job. Probably rebuilt the front end. I got all the receipts. But spent a lot of time and money on it. So we finally decided that I would pay $38,500 for it. And I have that documented. And he kept bragging up all the parts it comes with. Well, the parts were the parts he took off. Like, he bought NOS wheellet moldings from me, and then gave me some pretty damn nice originals. So the parts package wasn't as glorious as maybe what he thought. There was an NOS center grill in there he got backed into years ago, and made the lady that backed into him buy a new in the box one from Green Sales. And years and years ago, that was $500. And then he went out and found a really nice used one that matched the patina of the grill that's on it. He replaced the driver's side seat with a reproduction, and he has the other one new in the box, but it doesn't need it. And his invoice shows he bought a rear seat, but I'm pretty sure that's the original. And the reason being is, look at that seam separation. And it feels old and stiff like a rear. So I don't know what happened to the reproduction rear seat cover. Anyway, I bought this car for a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted to own it. And sometimes a guy like me has more than just profit on his mind. The only way I was going to get to drive and enjoy this car and get my hands on it, so I wrote a check. So yeah, $38,500. And been enjoying the heck out of it. Every evening I've been going out with my wife. It's just a head turner. It's so stock. Although I had to put these grade A original spoke caps on it because he wanted to keep the original standard caps on, and they just look too much like 1974 AMC station wagon caps for me. So I thought these were a little classier. They need a little more detail work. I noticed I didn't get all the grime out of there. Takes a long time with pour on steel wool in your finger to get those perfect. But yeah, that's as grade A as you get. You just can't really pick this car apart too much. The biggest flaw on the paint job is they over tighten the studs. Look at that. I've never done it before, but I want to take an original one out of my wrecking yard that's been over tightened and put it on my press, and you'll never get it perfect. But I'm gonna practice on a junk one to see if I can get it better. And then, maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just talking big. Then I would like to try to straighten these, because this is a gorgeous paint job. And I have been driving this for days. I've gone through a tank of gas. And so it's summertime, harvest season out here in the farm country. This has a thin layer of dust on it, and I have yet to even touch it. This car has never been in a wreck. The only panel that's been changed is this, and I still have the original, and it actually buffs out nice. Shows what the paint condition was before this went in for paint. But some service attendant, he said years ago, while they were doing the window, heavy guy leaned on it and put an oil can, oh, so you can see the dust on this car. Look at my handprint. Some service attendant put an oil can dent in it right there. Yeah, if this car was detailed, it would just pop. But it looks pretty damn good right now, doesn't it? One thing that impresses me about this car is you only get original once. And these bumpers, once you restore them, they look, well, over-restored. If you look really careful at this one, it's got the original polishing marks, we'll say, grinding marks, and stamping marks. This bumper has never had a spot of rust and has never been tapped. That's not a re-chrome. I know my camera does not show the imperfections, but when you're in person, you can tell this isn't a re-chrome. The grill is just gorgeous on this thing. It's a well-optioned car. I got the original window sticker, of course. And it's got factory console, bumper guards. It came with the tilt-away disc brake combination option. All convertibles had minimum decor level door panels. You couldn't get standard. Does not have the clock. There's your dummy plate. Traction lock rear end. And it's been rebuilt. So when you come out of the driveway and do a sharp right hand or left hand turn out of the driveway, you'll feel it load up, pop. And that's the way it should be. Modern true tracks don't do that, but traction locks do. Focus. Whoops, now I'm out of focus. There we go. It's an early car, so the hood latch is the tiny one that you gotta have a strong finger for. Look how tiny that hood latch is. When they rebuilt it, the builder gave him the choice and told him the horsepower increase and the gas mile, whatever. He talked him into aluminum intake. Of course, I have the pristine looking carburetor, 4-barrel intake. The rubber PVC molded hose is still nice. Distributor, carburetor, spacer plate, heat shield, snorkel, air cleaner. Oh, that's original, and I'd like to get it back on there. Get rid of that monstrosity and put in Pertronics. Factory heavy duty cooling package. You know, West Coast Classic Cougar is famous for always promoting you do this to your standard cooling cars. Well, somebody had the foresight from the factory, well, from when they ordered it, to order it with the 24-inch radiator as if it had air conditioning, and it does not. Notice also, that is your Barnum Brothers horsehair texture brown tint original production line shroud, same as on a 69 GT350 Shelby. That shroud, believe it or not, is probably worth $1,000 to the right guy. Never once has anybody gone in this car and put their hand here and leaned over and inspected things. Fresh rebuilt master cylinder and booster. Again, this is an early 69, so you have a Midland booster, not a Bendix. That is correct. I just replaced the vacuum actuator. Yeah, I know, I was lazy. I should have rebuilt the original, but I had a rebuilt one on the shelf and just grabbed it. Anyway, I got, and I put restored hood lip and eyebrows. I have the old ones. There's no dings in them. They're just dull. And I had restored ones on the shelf, so I thought that would be nice to dress it up. I've listed 42 things that I want to upgrade, fix, tune on this car. The hubcaps was number 1. Number 2 was Cougar logo floor mats. Number 3 was the adjusting arm on the mirror. It was flopping all over. Number 4 was it had reproduction. Lock knobs, I know that's nitpicky, but I can tell the difference. Number 5, and I haven't changed it yet, that's a reproduction wand. I think I have an NOS one. The boot is sometime looked tired, and he painted it, and he went right over the snaps. Some 4/0 steel wool, take care of that. Anyway, I got 42 things so far. There'll probably be more. I know there'll be more. Once you get into it, you always find more. Oh, there was another thing. The gas door lens wasn't bad, but it had a bunch of hairline cracks. So I put a new lens in that. Sequential unit, I upgraded it to a solid state. It had really dim and slow sequentials. Check out that original boot bag. That is the original, and look at it. Nicest one you'll ever find. That's worth a couple $100. I know I'm a parts guy, so everything. Oh, check this out. If you're a 69 or 70 owner, you know this doesn't happen by accident. He said every time he washed it, he would open the trunk and wash the top of the headlights and then wipe them off. He wouldn't let the water just dry on it. Yeah. That's NOS deck lid molding, I do believe he bought when he painted it. I think I'm going to put new emblems on it. They aren't bad, but everything else pops so nice. Of course, I'm not going to show you the bottom tonight, but anybody interested in it will, of course, get pictures of the pristine bottom. I'm taking those chrome tips off, and I told him that. I'd poke him whenever he did something to what I thought was going to be my car someday. Hey, what are you doing to my car? I don't want those chrome tips on it. We bantered that way. I know I'm pretty good. I got away with it. So, and he really respects the fact that I'm more of an old man than he's 85. I'm more of an old man than he is when it comes to some of this stuff. And he did not want to see this go to the 510 and, get 20s on it with a pink fur interior. I don't know, just making that up, but it would actually make him cry if he saw this car changed too much from the old friend he's known it from. And of course the new owner is going to get contact information with him. Service replacement antenna from Ford, which as you can see is not really correct. Here's another problem I don't like. When they took the trim off for the paint job and new windshield, something got placed under there and it dimpled the trim. I have restored, so I think I'll end up changing that. Anyway, my goal on this car is to make zero money. That's right, I'm asking $42,500 for this car, and that's break even. Although in 2 months, if it hasn't sold, I'll probably have more than $42,500 if I get into rebuilding the distributor, getting the intake manifold changed, detailing the engine, counting my hours. I'm gonna be into this more than $42,500 because my purchase price was $38,500, and I've already got $2,000 worth of invoice built onto it. There's other things I've done to it I'm not remembering. Oh, here's something, the tilt away, and I didn't list all the options. The tilt away was disconnected many years ago, so it's only a tilt. Just, they plugged off the vacuum, that's it. When you open the door, you can still hear the relay. Listen. Yeah, so electrically it's still working, the vacuum's just disconnected. Why is that a good thing? Well, those cables fray. They get old and tired. And this one's been preserved all these years by being disconnected. That's awesome. Here's something I forgot you could do. Everybody's gonna say, well, that's got an XR7 mirror on it. Nope, it's on the factory window sticker. That was an upgrade you could do that very, very few people did. So if you wanted to put a passenger side mirror on it, you could go to the CougarPartsCatalog.com, my website, and buy the twin to that for the other side with a chrome base. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to put a drill hole in this car. Tires are new. Well, 2017, but very few miles. Isn't this just gorgeous? Anyway, I know for a fact how hard this car is to find. High school buddy of mine has been after me since well before COVID to find him this exact car. This color even would have been one of his top 3. He didn't care about an XR7. And I've looked the country over. You guys maybe have saw my wanted ads, and he doesn't want a project. He just wants to write a check, and they just don't exist. But he's at that point where he sold his house with a 3-car garage, and he's in a condominium. And he's going to be retiring in a couple of years, and he's at the point where he's liquidating toys, not gaining them. But yeah, he said, this is just what I wanted. Yeah, high school buddy. He came to me and he said, hey, my high school car was a 65 Impala 4-door hardtop. It was a turd. I don't want anything to do with that to relive my youth. All my great memories are in a Cougar when I was young. Get me a Cougar, Don. I thought that was honoring for him to say, never a Chevrolet, only a Cougar. He is the partial owner and CEO of Jada Toy Company, Bill Simons. Oh, extra you don't care about. Original rocker moldings, not restored, not reproduction. Just dang nice. He obviously didn't spend a lot of time on gravel roads, did he? The only rust was and I remember it, couple little dimples in the corners of the doors. That's it. Now, I did another video, it's on my channel, and it's a video of right when I drove up in his driveway with the check. And I showed the car with the top up, and he told me some memories of it and whatnot. So, yeah. Okay, I wanted to wrap up this video, but I wanted to show it in full sunlight. And I wanted to also, this is the next morning, let you hear it run cold. This thing starts up so beautifully. So I'm gonna start it up, but I also wanted to show you how perfect the glass is. And if you're a 69 guy, you know how rare it is to have glass with no scratches, no chips, glued in correctly, aligned correctly, with the stainless strip still where, I mean, you never see convertible 69 glass line up right. So, and it's like mostly right, like that gap there could be a little better. Anyway, pretty proud of that. So here goes, starting it cold. I did pull it out of the garage, so this is the second start. But even when you start it cold, it's like a quarter of a pump on the fuel pedal, not a full pump. day it doesn't sell, the car gets better because I'm going to keep tinkering with it. In reality,